How you doing? This is Coach DeCarlo. I was talking to a family member the other day, and they had delivered some bad news. And the question is, what do you do when you encounter bad news? Often on the journey of our bigger, better, more, we experience trials, and we're like, man, I'm in the process of manifesting something so much bigger. Why is this happening? And you can't let it shake you. First and foremost, you have to have a plan for your bigger, better, more. You have to have a direction. You have to have an end in mind. You have to be able to begin living from that desired end, whatever it looks like. And what's going to happen is that, as we discover, is that life is going to happen. And a lot of times, I remember when I was new to the Christian experience, I was kind of given the impression, once you came to know Jesus as Lord and Savior, that nothing bad ever happens to you. And that wasn't my experience. And I believe that many people that practice manifestation also run into that. And we think that because we're practicing these laws, these principles, that bad things don't happen. And the fact of the matter is, they do. And the question is, who are we becoming in the midst of the storms, in the midst of the tribulations, in the midst of the trials? See, our desire to be has to be so great. My desire to be has to be so great. Your desire to be has to be so great that even amidst the trials, the bad news, the things that you're going through, you have to have such a clear picture of who it is that you are and that you're becoming, and you're living from that end, that none of these things move you. Oh, yeah, they shake you a little bit, but you don't stay there. And you get back on track and you do what you know to do, whatever that looks like. You can't find yourself getting some bad news and all of a sudden, because bad news happens, you say, well, I'm just going to give up on this stuff. It doesn't work. No, it's doing exactly what it's supposed to, but we have to stay on track. Now, in part, when you look at even the bad news, we have our parts to play in that. And the person that may be experiencing whatever that bad news has their part to play. So it's not like it came from nowhere. We created it. So once we can own that we created it, we can also uncreate it. We can actually change it. Now, my goal is not to per se change the bad news per se, because certain life events are going to take place. It's what I do about the life events. Do I let those life events stop me, derail me, get me off track, or do I press forward? I press forward, and my desire for you creators is press forward, no matter what the outward appearance may look like. And the funny thing is, when you're about ready to give birth to your desire, it's when you start going through the birth pains. And the birth pains seem to be so great that you're like, well, it can't be worth it. And the truth of the matter is, it is worth it. But you have to go through the other side. You have to make it through the other side. You have to go through the valley of the illusion of the shadows of death. And as you move through the valleys of illusion, of what appears to be the trials, the tribulations, and so forth, you'll find on the other side, there's a reward. And the reward is you becoming who it is that you need to be. It's me becoming who I need to be. So don't allow the circumstances that you may be facing, that you may be going through at the moment, to derail you from your desired end, whatever that looks like. But first and foremost, you must have that end in mind. You must give subconscious mind something to work with. If you're just living on a whim, haphazardly, you're going to be moved by the bad news. You're going to be moved by trials when they come up. You're going to be moved by temptations because, of course, you don't have a desired end to shoot for. You haven't given your mind, your spirit, your body anything to move towards, to create, to recreate. And so because that's the case, any end will do. And unfortunately, it's going to always look like it's bad. And the phrase comes up, why does this keep happening to me over and over again? Why is it that I keep living out the same experiences? Why do I have the same type of relationships? Why do I continue to experience this lack of money? It's only as we give ourselves a desired end and we begin living from that desired end, that as you're going through the trials that everyone goes through, and let me stress that again, everybody's going through something. Just because we may have a smile on our face or that we may be communicating, a message of change, change is inevitable. And a lot of times it looks like a trial. It looks like a temptation. It looks like a tribulation. It looks like that stuff on the without. But you can't allow the without to move you. You have to, again, have such a great vision of yourself, of what it is that you're seeking to accomplish, of where you're trying to go, what it is that you're trying to do. And it's like when Neville was taking his first trip to Barbados and knowing Abdullah. None of the appearance gave the impression that he was going to Barbados. Matter of fact, everything gave the impression that he was going in the opposite direction, but Abdullah had the wherewithal to live in the inn. He saw Neville going on this trip. He saw Neville going first class. He saw Neville being a changed person when he returned from Barbados. So you have to have in mind that desired end. The whys, the hows, that's not our business as much as we want to make it our business. And a lot of times the hows and the whys look like tribulation. Actually, what they are red carpets paving the way for our success. But to us, when we're going through it, we think that it's the most horrific thing in the world because, of course, we can't imagine that this could be the pathway to our abundance. But as we continue to go through the situation, as we come out on the other side, we understand the thing that we called ourselves fighting against was actually the thing that was opening up the door for our abundance. So as you're going through whatever it is that you're going through, simply allow it to be. Have a vision of where it is that you want to go, do, be, and have. And as you begin operating from your vision, all those things that seem like trials, tribulations, temptations, and so forth will start to fade. And as you continue to move forward, you're going to see that those were the very things that were opening up the door of your opportunity. Remember this, creators, that only you can create your perfect world. Not God or man. Only you can create your perfect world. This is Coach DeCarlo saying have a great and abundant day.